Hey everyone, Macklinger again, back for my second video with a few more pieces of gear that I find very useful. First of all, you can buy these on Amazon or B&H or Adorama or Hunts, wherever you do your camera shopping. You probably buy some at Colonial Photo too. But I see an awful lot of photographers that, as they're walking around, especially out doing landscapes, that they won't have anything in their hot shoe. You know, the little cover that came with the camera originally is long since lost or in the bottom of a camera bag someplace, and they're not using a flash, and so there's nothing there. The problem with that is that the more you do that, the more you run the risk of damaging that. So when you actually put a flash or another hot shoe attachment up there, it's not going to work. You're going to have a problem, and you have to get it fixed. So it's a relatively inexpensive and necessary thing to keep those protected. So instead of buying the generic regular old caps, I normally put a bubble level on there of some sort. And I've got two different kinds that I use. This one's really small, and you can see the bubble in there. And so it does an okay job when I slide it in there of making sure that the camera's level. At least it gets me pretty close, right? So if I'm not being super precise, it works pretty well. The other one is this cube, and they make variations of this, but you can see too that it's got multiple uh, cylinders in there that are filled with liquid and a low air bubble, so that you can make sure that you're level no matter which way you do it. I generally don't keep this one on there just as a matter of course. I'll put this on there if I'm out doing landscapes. I want to make sure that I'm getting level, and I want to use this versus using an internal feature of the camera. But either way, my hot shoe's covered. So these are relatively inexpensive, especially these, so it's a really good idea, but I think they're great. Next up, for those of you that do any kind of night photography, whether it's astrophotography or you just get up early to go out and do sunrises or stay late and do sunsets, or you're shooting, in the middle of the night, one of the things that becomes necessary, obviously, is you have to have a light source sometimes to be able to see what you're doing. And so I carry a flashlight too, but I found that having a light on my hat makes things a whole heck of a lot easier. I'm protecting my head, obviously, um, but it also just makes it handy to be hands-free. The downside to that here in Florida in particular is as soon as you turn the white lights on, the bugs find you fast, right? So you're acting like a beacon. They track you down. So what I really like about this one is you'll see that it has, I don't know if you can see that real well, but that's actually a red light versus white. So when I turn that one red light on, the bugs leave me alone at least for a little while. They're going to find me eventually. But it doesn't do anything to your night vision, which is nice as well. So as soon as you turn it off, you're back to where you were. You can still see the camera, you can see the stars, you can see whatever you're trying to see. Versus the other setting on this is when I turn that on. Now I've got 4 white lights, and so when I really need a lot of light, I'll do that, and then back off again. Relatively inexpensive. I think I bought this on Amazon a few years ago for like $10. I've looked again, and they don't have this exact model anymore. But they have a bunch of different ones that also have the red light, so you can find them there, or you can just go out and look on the internet and see what you can find. But really nice, handy. I like those a lot. I carry it with me all the time for both photography and other things when I'm outside. 2 more things. This is a really stupid, simple one, but it's nice to have elastic of some sort for a variety of different things when you're out shooting. Sometimes people, use that for batteries or attach things to your tripod. I use these in particular for attaching my triggers, my light triggers, when I'm doing any kind of portrait work, to my light stand, so they're not just clanking around. I can wrap these on there and it keeps them secure, and I know they're there and it's easy. But what these are women's hair ties. That's, you buy them at Amazon cheap. Again, they don't cost a whole lot. The other bonus is I've always got them for my wife when she needs one. But they're much better than just regular rubber bands, and they don't get sticky, they don't melt. They have no negative impact on any of your equipment. And like I said, they're very inexpensive. So I use those a lot, real cheap. Last thing, selfie stick. I know you've all seen selfie sticks before, and I have too. And I'm quite honestly, I don't take a whole lot of selfies, and right now we're not trailing at all because of the pandemic, obviously. But what I really like about this is, in addition to being a selfie stick and having a Bluetooth capability, it's got a little button down here for the Bluetooth. So if I put my camera in here, or my phone. Give me a second here. There we go. Put a phone in there. I stick way out there. I can do a selfie. I can get up high, do whatever. Um, but the thing that's really handy about this one is that if I want to take a photo and I don't have my camera with me and I'm using my cell phone camera instead, this converts to a tripod. And so you can see, like so, and I can set it down. And the other thing that it does is that Bluetooth I was talking about right here, if you can see, this comes out. It's a remote. So I can put the camera down, or my cell phone down on the tripod, get my composition right, and then with this I can stand back and I can take my photo. And nice steady platform, so now you have no camera shake, which is typically one of the issues you run into with cell phone cameras a lot of times, is that sometimes you have to slow it. It's got to slow the exposure down to the point where you just can't handhold it, and this makes that go away. The other thing it does is now I can take group photos if I'm with a small group. We set this up pointing back at us, and I can still trigger the photo. I can take multiple exposures instead of having to rely on the timer or asking somebody else to take the photo for me. So, pretty handy gizmo. We typically take that anytime we travel somewhere. That's it. That's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.